Is this guy seriously just sitting in this building because he's being tracked? It's crazy that this guy has had a bounty on his head for over 3 minutes straight, and he's actually, instead of playing the game out, he decides to sit there, and for 3 minutes, he's just gonna sit inside and not play the game. 2 can play at that game. What's crazy is he's actually just gonna wait this entire bounty out. Yep, there it goes. And then he's just gonna die as soon, yep, look at him. What a waste of your fucking time. Waited 3 minutes to die. I could have gone in there and just fought him instead on his exact terms, and I likely would have won. It didn't seem like he was very good whatsoever. But if that is your immediate response to go and just hide in a building because you're being tracked, you're playing the game wrong. It's just completely wrong. Since I know that he's the only spectator, I want him to see this and understand. I'm not even gonna sit there and play the rest of this game out. I just want to show him. I want him to think about this. Learn from your mistakes. I may not have gotten the bounty money at the end, but the kill is worth so much more than the dollars, I promise you. Before, I wouldn't even think a second time about a bounty that I completed, but I'll remember this. Alright, dude. This is likely the second video of the day. I was supposed to upload a second video yesterday as well, but I double uploaded the day before that as well, so I mean, whatever. I got a video up, it is what it is. I mean, so yesterday, sometime last night, I think, actually, Reality UK, yet again, I mean, shit, just supplying us with literally the entire game. He ended up actually tweeting out a weapon list of all of these weapons that are actually in the files for not just Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, but Call of Duty 2024. We already have some, at least, weapon code names anyway, and a number of weapons already in the files for Call of Duty 2024. It looks like so far there's like, what is that, 6 ARs, 4 BRs, battle rifles, 3 DMs, I'm assuming that's like designated marksman rifle. That's actually a weird distinction right there. There's an AR, a battle rifle, which is basically a heavier assault rifle, and then there's marksman rifles that can kind of like be converted into like a sniper rifle kind of deal, meant for more long range shit. We got, what is that, 4 LMGs, a knife, 3 pistols, or SH, whatever that means. Shotgun? So 4 shotguns, looks like 5 submachine guns, 4 different sniper rifles, although you're gonna have to assume that probably one of those sniper rifles, or probably even 2 of those sniper rifles, let's be honest, are probably not bolt action rifles, which, you know, is obviously the favorite and favored one. I haven't seen a single fucking soul, and I'm about to walk over here for my loadout and just die. It's so fucking stupid. I can't wait to play this shit out of Warzone 2 when it's brand new, man. It's, that's the wrong fucking class. 4 sniper rifles. One says Sroger 25, Hechuk, Old Tiger, and Droger. Droger sounds like a Dragonov or something weird. Old Tiger? That might be it. I don't know. Sroger 25. I feel like anything that like ever has like a 25 in it or some shit like that is like some big beefy thing, or like kind of like a rifle, sniper rifle thing. There's already like over 30 weapon files just sitting in there. I might as well just die. There's no point in playing this shit out just to get shit on by somebody anyway. I don't like the weapon I have. So there's some Mike 16. I'm gonna assume that's an M16. Kozlo 723. A King 74, which it's under AR and it says 74, so I don't think it's like a 74U. It's like an AK 74. S George, a Clove, AS Valor. AS Valor is back. A Easy, don't know really what that is. I'm sure a whole lot of people can actually figure out what all of these things are, but obviously, I mean, just staring at file names and trying to decipher what they even are is just kind of a stretch to begin with, because some of them can be there, some of them can get removed. I've seen all sorts of files and shit on these games ever since all the leakers were able to get access to all this stuff. Basically, like, once Modern Warfare 2019 came out, we were getting these types of forms of leaks. We were in the dark otherwise, unless somebody came out with some kind of article. And to have all this information now is really nice, but at the same time, a lot of it, like, there are people out there that'll go and say, like, oh, dude, you're sitting there believing just random bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Because some of it ends up being wrong, but a metric fuck ton of it is correct, or at least close to it. There are so many things that I saw in files, like camos, even pictures of things. I have images of camos that we just never got. There was another rumored camo over in Modern Warfare. There was a rumored camo in Cold War, or at least another version of maybe Dark Matter that existed early into the game that also was not Dark Aether. There was also that one Dark Matter picture that was going around for Vanguard, and then we ended up getting the Green Tiger Dark Aether instead. Now, the interesting thing about this, though, is that this isn't Modern Warfare 2 weapon list. This is Call of Duty 2024 weapon list. It didn't look necessarily like a modern game, but it seemed kind of around there. But again, obviously, we don't don't know the exact time period. I don't know if it stays in like that Gulf War area. I don't really know. Or the couple pictures that we ended up seeing of it just aren't falling in that timeline. I mean, given, I feel like a lot of these weapons could probably exist within whatever timeline that they're doing. Obviously, it wouldn't even really matter when it got made if it's just like its own alternate timeline, a different Black Ops timeline, a sequel to Cold War or some shit like that. You could do all sorts of stuff with all sorts of weapons. There's an AR Mike 16, and then there's a DM Mary 16, D Paris 500, Maslow 500, O Love, S Baker 12. Those are shotguns. A Geesey 9. I thought it said Greasy 9, but it's Geesey 9. SA Fox, Fox, M Paris 5, M Dog 1, Roger 31, S Roger 25. I've been running around with the ZRG and shit just from like, you know, the intro or whatever, and the ZRG, I mean, it's okay. It's pretty good, but it just feels so... It feels bad, though. I don't know how else to explain it, and like, with the way that the meta is and everything, where basically ARs do the sniper rifle's job better than the sniper itself, there's only a handful of them that actually even seem somewhat viable, and they're underperforming. Their overall KDs are lower than the average, even though they are overwhelmingly used less. People don't snipe nearly as much right now, and it's not because they don't like sniping, it's because it's simply just not viable. The thing is, even when sniping was at its best with the COD2024 and shit like that, give a fuck how many pros or streamers ended up complaining about snipers, you were only getting killed by players that were actually good at the game. That's just the reality of it. If you're getting sniped, I mean, you just got fucking played. I don't know what to tell you. That is one of the most stylish ways to kill people in the game. Just literally run around and then just pop people in the fucking head. You can see plenty of people doing this shit. Watch Dirty, Testy, Neo. They ended up removing one of the most stylish parts of the game, and now, you know, instead of getting potentially shot in the head and killed in one shot, now it's you're getting lasered by the same amount away from you, just with a shit ton of bullets instead. Good thing they're not one-shot headshotting, though. That's good. That's real fun, and definitely better this way. I think they need to get that one-shot headshot shit back. They really do. Notice that literally the top used ones are the weapons that can still one-shot headshot, and then all the other ones just fell behind. You literally just gutted the entire category, the entire class. I can understand nerfing the COD2024, man, but I'll never understand why they did this so hard. Why did they go so hard on it? This was not a situation where everybody was like screaming, hey, nerf COD2024, it's so strong. Was the COD2024 nerfed like 3 or 4 times and it's still the top of the meta like the NZ? Tell me which one is stronger. I mean, shit, you can see it for yourself. I mean, look at it, he's getting sniped, right? And then people are going and saying, oh, the NZ meta is just so boring. You never heard anyone say no skill whenever they got sniped in the head. They would say maybe lucky. That's pretty much it. If you got sniped in the head, I mean, it is what it is. A game where you can move your character's head a million different ways, having great movement and just being able to try to predict the person and clearly being able to hear the intervals between their shots being able to be taken at you, as opposed to being sprayed down with a barrage of bullets by LMGs and ARs and shit, whatever this meta is. It's still basically, you know, Blixen, Marco, NZ. Some people are trying to say, you know, Modern Warfare weapons are up there and shit, but the biggest issue and biggest gap for the Modern Warfare weapons is the fact that, number one, they don't have the same good amount of sights that the Vanguard weapons do. You're not gonna be able to map somebody from 200 plus meters away with a VLK. I mean, you can, just not as accurately. Modern Warfare VLK 3X as opposed to a Vanguard 3 to 6X? Vanguard 3 to 6X, I mean, look how clean this fucking sight is. Do you understand how beautiful this shit? Listen, he don't even have to hit his shots, and it's just not moving. They suffer from a lack of a really, really good switching optic with how the visual recoil and everything looks on it. It's just, it's less accurate. It just is. You can get weapons that are similar in TTK, but if they're not as practical, it literally doesn't matter. I mean, realistically, I mean, we have what, like 30-something, 40-something weapons in Modern Warfare, Cold War, and Vanguard on launch? There's like 38 weapons, was it? 48? Something like that. It's crazy. I had an entire spreadsheet for this shit, and I don't even remember. It's very surprising to me, though, that they have like all these separations here. So 30-something weapons in total: assault rifles, battle rifles, marksman rifles, light machine guns, melees, pistols, shotguns, submachine guns, and sniper rifles. Typical categories, except we have the new introduction of this battle rifle category that we don't usually see. I don't necessarily know if they're really going to separate them, if they truly are going to be a separate category with like their own separate sets of you know, challenges and things like that. We also have no idea how this you know, new challenge system could potentially work. They were talking about the platforms or whatever. Whenever you unlock a certain item or a certain set of weapons or whatever, it'll carry across all of them so long as they're a part of the same platform or whatever. It sounds weird at the moment, but I feel like once everybody gets their hands on it, they'll understand and probably like it, because ultimately I think it does make it easier to fully equip your weapons even when you're just starting new ones. For example, I go and completely clear out like an M4 or something like that, and then the next one that I want to do is like an M16. Well, now the M16 will actually have some attachments because it should be on the M4's platform, at least in theory or whatever. I don't know which ones are actually a part of what platform, but you know, this man running around with a bullfrog. I don't think you really need 85 rounds in solos, man. You could probably be a lot more mobile. One thing that I am looking forward to though is that inevitably the longer that Warzone goes on and the more weapons that they add, the less and less balanced the game becomes, and the more that the problems become more and more prevalent. I see so many people say things like, oh dude, I miss early Modern Warfare Season 1 when there were just Modern Warfare weapons. I don't want anything else. Once everything else got introduced, I didn't like this and I didn't like that. Kind of, it's half and half nostalgia. They are right in the sense of it definitely does make the game a lot more straightforward and simple for the devs to balance at that time. But at the same time, everybody begs for new. Everybody wants the new weapons. They want to see the new meta. They want to, like, people look forward to that. But obviously the community is in vastly different since Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone, where it introduced all the BR people that came over here. And again, I feel so bad. I hope any of you guys that came over here to play Call of Duty and didn't really play multiplayer before, at least not year over year like a lot of us, you are going to experience the Call of Duty cycle in BR form. I'm just warning you. This whole thing where people are like, I hope that they learn everything from Warzone 1 and bring it over to Warzone 2, and then we can build off of that, all this progress we made and all the things that we know everybody loves and other people hate and all this other shit. We're gonna take a few steps back once Warzone 2 comes out, I'm telling you. Right now, for example, the current rumor now is that Ghost, at least the perk that was mined in Modern Warfare 2, it is not a Warzone 2 file necessarily, but as far as we know, Ghost in Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer is permanent, like it used to be over here on Warzone. And then they realized that that shit is just a little bit too fucking stupid. So many people are not even playing the game. They're just literally sitting in a corner with Ghost on permanently, and they don't need to move. The game doesn't signal or warn anybody about where they are. Now, they realize that that is a stupid thing, and they made it so you must be moving in order for Ghost to work. The thing is, they're only making that adjustment because there's not really as many new players coming in anymore that would benefit from that Ghost, even if it was that way. So basically what I'm saying, once Warzone 2 comes out, expect us to take some steps back and definitely have a lot of very noob-friendly things. The game is not going to launch in this competitive version. There are going to be so many things that are broken, so many things that are cheesy, and so many things that you're just sitting here wondering, how the fuck did we even think that this was a good idea just from our prior experience? Because they've done that in multiplayer on literally year over year. With Black Ops 1, Ghost worked just like this. It was permanent, no matter if you were moving or not in multiplayer. Obviously, Warzone didn't exist at the time. Then they realized, damn, that shit is kind of strong. And then in the following games, they made it work in a way where you would usually have to be moving. And then they took a step back on this game. Step back on Modern Warfare 2019, and they made it permanent again, just like Black Ops 1 Ghost, after they had already, quote, learned their lesson. We're gonna spend months begging for things to get fixed that were already existing in Warzone 1. I'm telling you, we're gonna spend so much time just talking about this shit. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a complete, and I'm not hating on Warzone 2. I am very, very excited for Warzone 2, and I actually want to dump a fuck ton of time into it. I genuinely do. Because I feel annoyed that I didn't play this more. Even though I made a shit ton of videos on Warzone, I didn't really play this shit. Like, I have less than 5,000 kills total over years. I'm not saying it to crush anybody's hope. I'm just letting you BR guys know that you're stuck with us now if you play Warzone 2. I'm just saying.